Hola, hola. It is the one and only. It's your boy, Jeremy Pierce. Good morning. I am here, and it is time to figure out what just happened. So, usually I do this right after the event has ended, but as you know, AEW pay-per-views are quite long. They're quite long. So I decided to just, go to sleep, do this one in the AM, and here we are, AEW's Double or Nothing. So let's just dive right into it. So on the pre-show, we had the NWA Women's World Championship being defended as it was Serena Deeb, our champion, defending against Riho. Now remember, these two met up in the first round of the Women's World Eliminator Tournament earlier this year, which Riho won that match. It was Riho's first match back in the company in a few months. But I was excited to see this match because these are two very, very capable and quality wrestlers. So was it last week? Serena Deeb actually defended her championship against Red Velvet, and what we got out of Serena was just a little some heel tactics, if I can say so myself. And if she wasn't a bad guy, if she wasn't, doing bad things, you saw it during this match. So first, we got some news that Riho has officially made the USA her permanent base of operations, which is very, very good. As you know, the pandemic messed up a few things, but here we are. So the match itself was very, very good. As I said before, these are two of the very best in AEW today, and Serena Deeb and Riho put on a nice little show for you. From start to finish, you can see that this was an equal match with competitors who just knew each other. Serena worked over Riho's knee the entire match, and she as in Riho wasn't able to really capitalize on this due to that knee being worked over. Dee was able to stick to her game plan for the entire match, and think about it. So if you watch Double or Nothing, the arena was packed, and this was the first match these guys got just being back in the arena with a live crowd. So it was up to Riho and Serena to work the crowd, get them going, and they did. In the end, Serena was able to make Riho tap, as that knee pain was just way, way, way too much for Riho to overcome. Serena's very, very good in the ring, and even though Riho made us believe that she has a few shots, I honestly thought there was a chance or two that Riho was going to win this match. Serena did pull it out and made her tap. So this was a good way to start the show off, and no complaints. I'd give this match a 3.5 out of 5. It was very, very solid. All right, so our first official match of the evening of the main card was Hangman Page versus Brian Cage, and of course Taz was on commentary. And this was a fun little matchup. Time limit wise, it went about 12 minutes. I feel like it could have went at least 10. You could have cut out some of the slack, but what you got here is two men that wanted to prove something, and it's poetic that Hangman Page opens up the pay-per-view, because it seems like every week he opens up Dynamite. So it's great to get him involved. You could either open the show up with Hangman or Darby Allin. So they open up with Page, and for me, I thought that Cage really controlled a lot of this match. He hit a couple suplexes, power bombs. He hit Page. He hit Page with an F5, and Page came back and caught him with an F5. So Cage wanted to do this match by himself with no help from Team Taz, and for the most part, he was doing it. He was controlling this match. Like, Page would make comebacks, but Brian would stop it, slow it down. And I felt like if Team Taz didn't get involved, because they eventually got involved, Brian Cage was going to win this match. Ricky Starks and Hook came out to kind of get the distraction when it looked like Page was going to win the match. Cage declined it. Taz was upset. Page wins with the buckshot lariat. So Taz is now heated that Cage wouldn't take the help. Cage is now heated that why would you offer the help when I had the magic control? He was going to kill Ricky Starks. Ricky had to point to his neck, like, yo, my neck injury. Like, okay, all right. So I had picked Brian Cage to win this match because I felt like Team Taz needed a W, and I see where they're going. Page is going to be the one to take the title off of Kenny Omega. Spoiler alert for how the world title match ends. I'll give this match 3 out of 5. I enjoyed it. It was cool, and yeah, it was solid. It was very, 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 very solid. Next up, we had the Young Bucks defending their World Tag Team Championships against the team of Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. And let me just say, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the Young Bucks are pretty much incapable of having a bad match, and this wasn't a bad match. They also like to have their matches go long, and once again, this match went 21 minutes. It could have went 15. Let me just start out with that. So in the beginning of the match, Mox and Kingston just jumped the Young Bucks. It was like, fuck it, we just out here, we in these streets. These guys are super, super over, and I love it. These guys, I like this team. So it was a matter of the team that's been together for 15, 16 years and the Young Bucks versus the team that's, fairly new, but these guys are still best friends, so they know each other. So, and it was a clash of styles. The Young Bucks are more polished, finesse, whereas Mox and Eddie are brawlers. They take it to the streets. And excuse me, Don Callis, of course, was on commentary. He was there to, make sure things don't get out of hand, of course. And Brandon Cutler tried to get involved. Didn't help, but it helped in a way so that the Young Bucks can get control of the match. So they get control of the match, and we finally start the match in the ring. And Eddie Kingston is doing his thing. He's taking control of the match. Fans are loving him, and bam, the tide turns. So Doc Gallows shows up. Kingston's got to take him out. Carl Anderson shows up. Frankie Kazarian shows up to take him out. But that chaos gives the Young Bucks enough time to take control of the match. They spray Mox with the aerosol can. They throw it at him. Now Mox is bleeding because of Marq. Of course, Mox has got to bleed. They give him a Meltzer driver on the ramp. So at this point, Mox is just done. And he's got to keep fighting back. And there's times where there are times when he gets control, but it's rare that you see Mox play the face in peril. He will usually be the one to get the hot tag. So there's a partner match where he's got the sleeper hold. He's got a sleeper locked in on Matt. Matt rolls back and Nick hits a 450. It was illegal. It was an illegal move, obviously, but ref's discretion. At this point, these guys have been going back and forth. Eddie gets the hot tag, and he's trying to do his best, and they take him out. Mox got hit with a few super kicks, and he was like, nah, dog, double clothesline. More super kicks. Mox kicks out at one, and the crowd can't believe a buck shoulder for frustration. Eddie gets taken out, and they hit Mox with 4 consecutive BTE triggers to pin him, and they retain their titles. Now, this was a good tag team match. I had picked Eddie and Mox to win, but that's okay. I feel like they'll eventually they're going to take the belts off of Kingston and Eddie. I mean, Kingston take the belts off of the Young Bucks. And Eddie Kingston overall looked like he belonged. Because remember, this guy's been working the streets, working indies for a very, very long time. And only most recently, NTNA really has gotten a true shot. And he didn't look out of touch at all. So this match gets 4 out of 5 stars because the Young Bucks are literally incapable of having a bad match. All right, so next up, we got the Casino Battle Royale. This is a double or nothing mainstay, if you will. And there's always at least one surprise person for the match, as you would call it. They are the Joker. And so for the Battle Royale, people comes out in groups of, I'm going to say Christian, Matt, Powerhouse, 5. For the suits. So the first group in was Christian, Matt Sydal, Powerhouse Hobbs, Dustin Rhodes, and Max Caster. Max is super over, and the crowd has showed it. Yeah, he had a really good line saying Christian used to be cool, but only when he had an edge. Great stuff here. Great stuff. Christian was super over. Same thing with Max Caster, and this was great. So the winner of the Battle Royale gets a title shot on Dynamite. So first up, Christian eliminated Max Caster, and the crowd did boo. That wasn't great. That wasn't fun for anybody. The next 5 in were Matt Hardy, Preston Vance of the Dark Order, Nick Comorto, and Sir Pentaco. Let me make sure about that. It's Matt Hardy, Isaiah Kassidy, Preston Vance, aka 10, Nick Comorto, and Sir Pentaco. Sir Pentaco was our injury replacement for the Blade. And it's good to always have like guys on hand that can come in and step in. So obviously now we have Matt Hardy and Christian in the ring. You know what the fans want. Before the match, though, Matt told Isaiah and Marq that you helped me win, your fee gets knocked down from 30 to 15. So they put it in their minds that Matt Hardy was going to win this match, and he was there up until the very, very end, ladies and gentlemen. We still got the feud between the Nightmare Factory and the family. Dustin eliminated Nick Comorto. He eliminated Preston Vance. Comorto hit Dustin with a cowbell because Nick came out with the cowbell. So obviously they're going to have a bull rope match, which they are going to have a bull rope match on Dynamite this Friday. Matt Hardy didn't go into the ring, though. He was kind of in the wind at the moment. Christian Hobbs eliminated Dustin, and then Matt and Christian faced off until Isaiah Kassidy stopped that noise. The next 5 in were Brian Pillman Jr., Griff Garrison, Anthony Bowens, Penta, El Zero Miedo, and Colt Cabana. Obviously, Penta was super over. Garrison and Pillman beat up Hardy, and then Isaiah eliminated Colt Cabana. Bam. Garrison and Pillman eliminated Bowens. Bam. And then Hardy eliminated Griff Garrison. The next 5 in were Jungle Boy, Marq, Quen, Evil Uno, and Jungle Boy, Marq, Eva Kuno, Lee Johnson. Hold on, that's not correct. Jungle Boy, Marq, Quen, Aaron Solo, who was the injury replacement for QT Marshall, Evil Uno, and Lee Johnson. Thank you. I had to listen. This is why you got to take notes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So at this point, people are getting tossed out. Christian eliminates Hobbs, kind of a throwback to his feud with Team Taz. So mind you, they were also fighting this past week. The final opponent, the mystery opponent, the Joker, was Lio Rush. Now, mind you, he has not signed with AEW. He is with New Japan, so this is just the Forbidden Door being opened some more, which is cool. Yeah, Lio Rush wasn't even in match for a long time. He got a nice little pop, but he was eliminated by Matt Hardy, and it came down to Matt Hardy, Jungle Boy, and Christian. Now, Matt tried to use his history with Christian. Like, yo, let's take our Jungle Boy. We can do this for ourselves. Christian was like, nah, he eliminated Matt Hardy. Came down to Christian, a Jungle Boy. They fought for a good little minute. There was a really, really cool maneuver where Christian tried to, he tried to hit the kill switch on Jungle Boy on the apron. That didn't work. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna just try to throw you. So he throws Jungle Boy towards the turnbuckle to try, which would, he would run into it and fall off. But Jungle Boy fucking swung on the turnbuckle apron and slid into the ring, which was pretty cool. And in the end, Jungle Boy threw out Christian, and the crowd popped hard, like super hard. Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt came out. Christian came, and Jungle Boy was like, yo, let's do, you got this, dog. And it was great. It was great. I'm like, Jungle Boy is a star. Vince didn't want to sign this guy because he wanted him to gain 30 more pounds. Like, whatever. This was a fun little battle royale. There's no, really can't give a star rating for a battle royale, but it was still fun. There weren't really any key moments. They had built it up that either Matt Hardy or Christian was going to win because they were really the only true people that you thought were going to win. But this was great. And I just want to point out that Tony Khan paying for John Moxley's new theme Evolving and Jungle Boy's music, worth every penny. It really, really is. Next up, we had Anthony Ogogo versus Cody Rhodes. And I'm gonna tell you right, listen, I get the flack that Cody gets. I get it. But he knows how to make someone look good. The only thing I don't like about this match is I thought Anthony Ogogo should have won. I know he's green, but you got to give these new stars wins early in their career, and that did not happen here. And Cody wasn't really getting super cheered. I mean, he did the whole American Dream military thing, but honestly, I thought Anthony Ogogo should have won. I think Anthony Ogogo should have won. I don't know how else to say that. You make this new group, you make this new faction, you clearly want Anthony Ogogo to be the star, and he lost. Cody, I'm trying to think of how many feuds or times Cody has actually lost. He lost to MJF, he lost to Jericho, he lost to Brody Lee. Other than that, Cody always wins the feud. Cody didn't. I don't even think Cody needed to be on the card. Actually, this match could have been like a main event for Dynamite, and it would have been that more special. You could have took this match out. Same thing with the Battle Royale. The Battle Royale shouldn't have been on the main card. You could have put the Battle Royale on. You could either put the Battle Royale or the Brian Cage Adam Page match on the pre-show. Both of those matches, because of the way they ended, would have got the crowd very, 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 very involved. I just think Anthony Ogogo should have won this match. I'm going to give it a 2, barely a 2, because I wasn't feeling it. Next up, we got the TNT title. Miro defending against Lance Archer. We got a Hobbs fight. We just got meat slapping meat. This match went about 10 minutes. I thought it should have been shorter. Miro was just very, very vicious and violent, and that's what I want from Miro. It was just train versus train. And he turned it up. Archer took the loss, and he's been losing a couple feuds, but he passed out from the camel clutch, aka the game over. So he looks good in defeat. This was violent. Jake got beat up just a little bit. Fans didn't like that, not at all. But you can't really take the title off of Miro when he just won it a couple weeks ago. Yeah. So I want to see where they go from here. Miro needs a new challenger, but Lance Archer said he wants to come for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So I can see him going to Japan for a little bit since the Forbidden Door is open. Because remember, AEW likes to rotate guys in and out of the show. Next up, we got a match that you knew what was going to happen, but I wasn't happy with it. This was the AEW Women's Championship. Britt Baker won. Obviously, Britt Baker was going to win. And this was a match where character work was chosen over work rate. Yes, Britt has improved in the ring, but it's shown in the match that she still needs a lot of work. She's not green. She's just not polished. And I hated the way that this match ended. You give Shida a new championship. You recognize her for being champion for 370 plus days. She never got to really wrestle in front of a crowd. And her first match in front of a full crowd, and she loses like this. Britt, they skipped so many steps trying to make Britt credible. The build was not great. They want to talk up this was Shida's toughest test. No, this was not. In my opinion, Shida's toughest test was Ty Conti. I'm just putting that out there. Shida's toughest, the title defense, was against Ty Conti and against Thunder Rosa. Britt never earned the status she has in this ring. She loses all of her top matches and uses Rebel for all of her wins. Britt is a cheap knockoff champion, and I don't think her reign will be long. I think she'll hold it for, this is June. I think she'll hold it for 4-5 months, have maybe 2 or 3 title defenses. The matches won't look good and they won't be pretty, and she will eventually lose the belt to Thunder Rosa. And then Thunder Rosa can do what Shida did and carry the division again. Okay? As for the match, it was fine. It was solid. As you can see, Shida did a lot of the heavy lifting. And Britt almost lost because Rebel hit her with a crutch. And like I said before, Britt is always winning her matches with the help of Rebel. Britt made Shida tap. I didn't even want Shida to tap. If you're gonna have Britt win either clean with like what's that move? Her fisherman neck breaker, but Shida tap, and this felt cheap and it wasn't great. I'm going to give the match a 3 out of 5. I just really wasn't feeling it, but we all know why Britt is the champion. Next up, we had a tag team match. Sting and Darby Allin taking on the team of Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Now look, I get it. you gotta have the fans be happy. I thought Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky should have won this match. Period. Sting and Darby can take a loss. You have to know how to put the stars that need to be put over. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page should have won this match, and they, for the most part, they dominated most of this match. Now look, this was also Sting's first match in front of a live crowd in 6 years, so there was some work to do. But Mr. Sting looked fine. He took a suplex on the entrance ramp and popped back up, so that was great. The best moment of probably the entire show was when Ethan Page took Darby Allin and threw this motherfucker into the crowd. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to AEW's Twitter and look at the GIF. Cause yeah, impressive. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page looked very, very, very impressive, and they lost, and it just didn't make sense for them to lose this match. Sting looked good. Darby was being that crash chest dummy, and I get it, but wasn't super into it. This was still a quality match. Sting looked great. He hit the Scorpion Death Drop on Scorpio Sky. Scorpion Death Drop on Scorpio Sky to win the match. That was cool. Match went about 13 minutes. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. This was cool. This was very, very cool. But I still think the wrong team won. And that's kind of what hurts the most. It happens. It's cool. Next up, we finally had the AEW World Championship match. And as you know, it is Kenny Omega defending against Orange Cassidy and Pac. KO, Kenny Omega, not Kevin Owens, came out with all of his belts. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Kenny Omega controlled most of this match, and the crowd was into it. But then came the end. So within like the last 5 or 6 minutes, Orange Cassidy had this match won multiple times. First of all, let us think in that Orange Cassidy is fighting for the world title. That's great. That shows you in AEW anybody can fight for the world title, and I'm fine with that as long as they have the right build to it. But the ending of the match is what really hurt this match from being great. AEW, they have a lot of interferences in their match. They don't do DQ finishes. They just have a lot of interferences, and the refs look stupid. There were interferences in this match. Omega ended up using all his belts as weapon. Pac taking headshot after headshot. OC was hitting a bunch of punches, orange crushes, and he's got the 1, he's got the 2, he's got the 2.9996. And Don Callis pulls the ref out of ring. Remember, in triple threat matches, there are no DQ. So I get the belt shots. It's just that this was such a cheap way to finish this match, and it was so overbooked. It was a great match right up until the end. And the crowd was so ready for Orange Cassidy to win. everybody here, they did their job. Pac is a goddamn freak in nature. I don't know how he's able to do the things he does at a man that size, but he did it. So Kenny Omega is still champion. I don't know who's going to take the belt off. My money's on Hangman Page to kind of really finish that story off, but yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Yeah. And some shocking news. Tony Schiavone announced that, we have AEW Rampage coming up in August. This is their new Friday night show, and their analysts, like Paul White is for Elevation Dark, the newest analyst for AEW Rampage will be none other than Mark Henry. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Okay. That's all I got to say about that. And last but not least, we had the Stadium Stampede match, and the match opens up with I'm laughing because this match was like fucking wild. The match opens up with MJF driving out in the limo, and the Inner Circle rappelling from the top of the stadium. Like, what? This Stadium Stampede match was a lot different from last year's Stadium Stampede match. This one was more action than comedy. They were just fighting, and of course everybody's got pair off, and this pair off felt more realistic. So Jericho, MJF, FTR, and Proud and Powerful, Sammy, Shawn Spears, Jake Hager, Wardlow. So we start off with Wardlow and Hager, and Hager just spears Wardlow through a wall. Okay. Yeah. There were so many moments. So I'll put it to you like this. So let's go with each pair off. That's a good way to describe what's going on. So let's start with Hager and Wardlow. They were, once again, throwing man meat, horse fight. They were powerbombing each other, choke slams. They fought in the cooler, and at one point, while they were fighting in the cooler, Wardlow grabbed an icicle from the fucking ceiling and was going to stab Jake Hager. Bro, what? This man tried to commit murder on TV. What? That's what happened. So that's the horse fight. Then we had FTR and Santana and Ortiz. So their fight was kind of in the nightclub. So they start beating up the patrons. They meet in the middle at a table. Tully brings them some shots. They toast each other. Respect. Take the shots. And then they start throwing shots. Start throwing them blows. They're just fighting. And they're fighting. And to really get the fight in high gear, Proud and Powerful points to the DJ like, yo, play that music. The DJ is Conan. Okay. All right, and Conan gets involved to stop Tully from kind of turning the tide into the favor of FTR. The Proud and Powerful, they're brawlers. FTR are, they're old school, and this was I want to see these two teams face each other in a regular tag team match. Proud and Powerful was definitely my favorite tag team in I was about to say Impact in AEW. But this one, their stuff was just more brutal. Then we have Shawn Spears and Sammy Guevara. So before they can fight, Sean's doing like this flash dance sequence. He's in the room with all these chairs, and there's like a spotlight on him, and it's dark. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So that was funny. And Sean rarely had the upper hand. I mean, he got some moments in chair shots here and there, being able to take Sammy out. But Sammy was using Capovara and flips. Sean actually did end up handcuffing Sammy in some room. But when Sean left, he didn't see that when he threw these bolt cutters earlier, they landed near Sammy. But they landed where Sammy is. Sammy cut the bolt cutters. And he gets free. We'll come back to Sammy and Sean. Jericho and MJF just fighting all over the stadium. They're going through rooms, the kitchen. There was one funny moment when they're in the stadium, like they're like in the offices of the stadium upstairs, and MJF goes to punch Jericho, and he ducks and he ends up punching a cardboard cutout of Shad Khan, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, father of Tony Khan, the owner of AEW. Jericho dusts this off, and then they end up fighting into an office, and the office belongs to Urban Meyer, and in the office is fucking Urban Meyer and Charlie Strong, and Urban Meyer's the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they just start throwing footballs at Jericho. He just starts huffing the footballs at MJF, and that was fun. That was cool. That was cool. And everybody got their moment, right? So back to Sean and Sammy. So Sean's like, he's cool, he's in the clear, and then the lights come on in the distance, and guess what? Sammy's driving that damn golf cart. Sammy is driving that golf cart, and he chases Sean to the ring, runs him over. They get in the ring. He gives him like a curb stomp into the corner to a chair. Hits the GTH, the fireman's carry. Think Dominic Dijakovic's finisher. Hits a 630, and it was Sammy Guevara that wins it for the Inner Circle, and they don't have to break up. This was fun. This was entertaining. I love seeing the 630. Sammy Guevara is just a freak. I would love to see Sammy face Pac and Ray Phoenix. For sure. I think those matches would be amazing. This was a good way to end the show with the Inner Circle winning, with the crowd cheering. But now here's the real question. You have to do a rubber match. How are you going to do the rubber match? I mean, you started the first match off in this feud with Blood and Guts. And then you do Stadium Stampede. So how is this feud going to finish? I'm going to give the Stadium Stampede just a 4 out of 5 because it was entertaining as hell. As for Double or Nothing, I'm gonna give Double or Nothing a 4 out of 5 because I was entertained more than I wasn't. I just wasn't happy with some of the results because I thought they were ass backwards. I thought Anthony Ogogo should have won. I thought Scorpio Sky Adam Page and Scorpio Sky Ethan Page should have won. I thought Brian Cage should have won, but overall it was still a quality show. It was very, very enjoyable. And I just didn't like that. Also, it was just too long. They could have put the Battle Royale on the pre-show, and that would have cut this up, shortened some of the matches. That's cool. It's very, very fun. It was very cool. But other than that, this was a good quality show. Double or Nothing was fun. Double or Nothing was exactly what you thought it would be, and I look forward to, I think, what's next? All Out is the next pay-per-view? Because I believe Full Gear is the end of the year. Yeah, All Out's the next pay-per-view for AEW. But that's what happened. That is what just happened. AEW's Double or Nothing, 4 out of 5. Check it out. Some good crazy moments, some good matches. things that we're happy with, that I wasn't happy with, but that's the show. That's Double or Nothing. I am your host, Jeremy Pierce. Come back this Saturday, with the newest episode of the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I have no idea what the episode is going to be about. I have not made the schedule for the month yet. I will figure that out for sure. It will be on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at Instagram.com you can follow me on Instagram, charismatic_creations52. That's me. But for now, make love, not war. Peace.